Hey there folks, it is SeKo Beercraft here having an innocent gun Scottish beer. It is fantastic, I am loving it, and I am watching a replay sent in from LivingDead, FLO, a future like ours, a clan that I ran into on ladder. I believe this was the gentleman that schooled me pretty hardcore when we played, and he likes to talk at the beginning, and this is apparently how I met him, was essentially I just started to chat with him a little bit during the game, and then after he schooled me, he just sent me a notice like, hey, you talked with me. Did you want to play some games? And then we kind of built a relationship from there. But he's up against Tucker, and Tucker doesn't want to talk. So LivingDead is probably not going to reciprocate the same kind of happiness that I had received. It is a fairly long TVZ. Apparently not good. See, chatting is kind of fun, and I appreciate that LivingDead likes to chat, but there's a lot of people that as soon as somebody gets chatty, just a little bit, then it's almost certainly cheese. The cheesy people seem to be more chatty in my mind. At least that was my experience. I wonder if this is going to be a CC first. Oh no, there's a guess going down. And he will go for a scout. The old Scoutamoroo. Timing's a little bit off. It's nice to cut one SCV so you can get out that barracks a little bit quicker. Back up on this side. Let's see if LivingDead is going to expand. Yes, he is going to expand. This likely is going to be a Reaper pressure. He's going to have more than enough gas by the time it's done. He might actually be able to throw down a factory straight away. We'll see if that is what he feels like doing. And now I love Zerg to death. It's kind of my guilty pleasure playing Zerg. It's sometimes really fun. But there's this weird difficulty that you just have in openings right now. Just because you really are only ever like doing economy or you're building attacking units. In this case, I like that LivingDead is going to be getting out some gas. That's likely going to be for him to get speed down. And that's just because that's what you really need to do. Hopefully that's not in the gas path there a little bit. That's what you really need to do in order to deal with, you know, Reaper and Hellion pressure in the early game. Oh. Oh! This is really funky. This is so risky, actually, on this side. But it allows him to do that. I mean, he got that extra gas down, but the thing is there's no wall off. So if for whatever reason he was getting 10 pooled or something, you'd probably be in a bit of trouble. Did Tucker even scout the main? Yes, he did scout the main. I remember that now. So this one SCV should return home. It's not doing him any good there. And I do like the Overlord in position to make sure no bunkers or stuff went down that would compromise things. Because he doesn't really know what's coming at him. It could be a proxy rack or something like that. Start the speed? Nope. He's keeping the people in the gas. Generally for myself, I'll get that speed started immediately, and that way I can take more advantage of it. There's the speed. Sometimes it's nice. It's difficult, but sometimes you can skip zerglings altogether and go for like a Roach Hydra play. I've seen some pretty cool people do that. I think Hendralisk was somebody that liked doing that against Terran players. A bit more tough. You gotta watch about these rallied back workers. That's why it's nice to have a supply depot down if you know you're not getting pressured, so that these guys can come home and not waste their time. Hellions are on the way, and he actually has himself down. Very fast stim. So a pretty funky opening here from Tucker. Don't mind it. Should allow him to transition pretty good, but he doesn't have a command center down or anything like that. So economy-wise, he's sacrificing a bit. If we look at the units count, he's already down by 5 workers, soon to be much more. And speed will be done here soon. I do enjoy getting out a handful of lings. You know, like 6 to 8 once your speed is finished, because you can go and check out what's happening. Put a couple on the watchtowers, and then leave some at the beginning of the base. So that way if you see Hellions coming down, what you can do is build more. And I love to overcompensate on my zerglings, because once you kill off the Hellions or any Reapers, you control the map as a zerg player. And it really is super fun to do. And then once you control the map, then you can get your third base really easy, spread your creep like nobody's business, tech up into a lair, and just start working from there. And there's that big pile of zerglings, and that'll hopefully allow him to do just that. Speed's finished, so now they're not going to be just prey to Hellions on the map. We'll see if they can take them out one-on-one. It depends who's got better micro, and it looks like they're going to go run right past each other. A bit unfortunate. Is he going to spot them? Nope. There's nothing down here for him to attack, so that's going to be a little bit unfortunate. Zerglings see nothing to kill. Lots and lots of Zerglings out on the map. Good micro. Is he going to try to bust that down? That seems like a bit of a... There we go. I was about to say, that's a really, really risky move. Let's see if we can get the surround on these here. Now, this is a really tricky dance to be able to do. There we go. Very nice move by LivingDead. You see him quick past the Hellions and take them out. Behind this, he is getting all lair tech. He doesn't have a Baneling nest, so he's not going to try to Baneling bust here. But he's cost a lot of worker time. He's taken away map control from Tucker. Oh, this finally figured out about this one SCV hanging out. So let's look at the units count now. Worker-wise, LivingDead sacrificed a lot of workers to get out all these Hellions. I'm sorry, all these zerglings. So this is really... Be very careful about doing that with your zerglings. Send up 2 or 3, because he already knows that there are widow mines in play from his opponent. So you never want... If you lose all these zerglings, you're in a lot of trouble. Super fast Spire. With Evo Chambers. Now, I'll argue that you probably don't want to get double Evo Chamber and Spire when you're on 2 base. Particularly we haven't got all of the gas yet. And that's only because you can't really afford to do that. I mean, you can either get out, 2 upgrades or another 2 Mutalisks or something like that. And you really need Mutalisks in bunches. Now, Terran's a little bit contained. Zerg player's a little supply blocked. So at a bit of a hush moment right now. I'd like to see a medevac come out, maybe try some drops. This is not necessarily a great place for zerglings because they could get hit from the high ground. I don't think he sees that though, does Tucker? Yeah, he does see those from the high ground. Well, he can see them. I don't know if he's paying attention to it. Zerglings come down. I would have moved one of my widow mines to the front just to test. Dancing a little bit with death there. Now is the surround. Go, run past. No. Yeah. The splits were really nice, but you have to separate and then run past these Hellions. Because he could take out those Hellions with that Zergling count there. I like the double expand behind this. He does have map control. I think that if he was going to be going for some drops, be in great position. As a Terran player, it's hard to know where you're at when you spend so much time hidden behind the action. But we can see there really isn't a lot of production facilities right now for the Terran. Good start on the upgrades. I'm a bigger fan of getting out more units necessarily than upgrades. Just because units allow you to do that early game damage. Upgrades pay more dividends as the game goes on. There's the Mutalisks coming out. Might have some trouble with these Widow Mines here. Widow Mines are obviously awesome. Creep spread is non-existent right now, and if you're going to go for all these expansions and you're playing a ground-based game, sometimes it's nice to move that creep around. Obviously, it takes... No, don't go up there. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. See, now that's fun sometimes. Sometimes you luck out and you get a lot of damage in, but that didn't work out very good. These mutas should be at the front of the base now. I know he's parking them around, but that's when the mutas got to go in when the lings go in. Pull the army one way and then you attack the other. I'm trying to educate my Bronze League friend on the nice static D, actually. This is really good. And now map control doesn't exist for either player. Hooray. What the hell is this all about? At least move the Widow Mines and burrow them in different places. If you have Mutalisks out, start using them. Run them around the map, see what's going on. Movement speed for Overlords. Getting the Overseers. Smooth. Let's see how these play out here. Is he going to notice that? Nope. Just going to go probably check and see if there's a third base in play. And there is not. And when you're in these positions, we're going to pause for a second. Just look at the unit count. No, he's got great workers, actually. He's doing fine. I was about to say, this is maybe when he should be getting out more workers. That's the trouble with sending one Zergling, is that it doesn't necessarily trigger Widow Mines. There we go. Now attack. What the hell? Oh no. That was so unfortunate. If you guys didn't notice, he attacked the refinery instead of units. That was unfortunate. He might have been able to do a little bit better. I'm saying that wasn't necessarily a great plan. But he probably would have did better if he didn't go after the the refinery. That was kind of funny, actually. That's a lot of mutas. I do like getting up a really dominant muta count production. More mutas. Mutas give you that really great map control get more economy out, get more static defenses, and just keep taking the map and keeping the Terran contained. There's missile turrets and widow mines everywhere. I mean, you could probably sneak underneath here and get some damage in. But coming in here with a big ball and just sniping things off can be a lot of fun. As a Terran player, what you love to have is just no pressure on you to do it. Well, I guess every race is that way. But when I play Terran and the muters aren't attacking me or doing anything else, they're sitting back, I feel like I have time to just go and be greedy and get things done. Mutas in this number, you should be able to go out onto the map with your overseers and start picking off stuff. If you can control this area in front of the Terran base, because there's no tanks or anything, you're going to be in a phenomenal position. Sure, a widow mine or shot might get off or something like that, but it takes 3 widow mines to kill 1 mutalisks, and mutalisks, they regenerate over time. How much do they regenerate? Faster than most zerg units. That's a great way to define how fast they regenerate. Yes. Is this rallied wrong? Yes, it is. That's really weird. Oh, yes. Okay, well, how about we talk about hotkeys? This is very strange for me. I play with a lot of people, and I watch a lot of games, particularly on the amateur side, where people don't like hotkeys. You see the Living Dead has no hotkeys except his hatcheries. I'm going to have to do a video about hotkey setup, I think. Just because I look at how this is going right now, and it's not fantastic. In Zerg, hotkeying is probably one of the most important changers of the game to doing production and keeping things moving. All these hatcheries should be rallied to the front. All the drones should be rallied to the newest base. All of your mutalisks should be on a single hotkey with potentially your overseers. Your lings and banelings should be on a hotkey that allows you to run around the map and do damage. And that just means when you're getting attacked, you can respond quickly, and when you're attacking, you will know how to control your units better. So I'm actually very surprised and very impressed that Living Dead is doing as good as he is with no hotkeys, essentially. That's really strange to me. And sometimes people have old school broodlord tendencies, but even then hotkeys were monumental, even though you can only fit, I think, like 8 or 16 units or something in one hotkey. So we're in a giant lull in the action right now. That's a lot of Marines. They have 2-2. That's not bad. Terran also, sorry, Zerg has 2-2 as well. I like the little bit of units running ahead, clear some creep. Those are not the best places for widow mines to burrow. You want them in front of your units. Oh no, the baneling speed's a long ways off being done. That's a lot of zerglings though. Banelings haven't... Oh, where are the widow mines? See, the widow mines are not being very useful right now. Get the mutalisks back. Where's the detection in this? Well, this fight probably would have went a lot better if there was, you know, baneling speed. But he still cleaned up the entire Terran army. And it's always nice to attack down the line of which you were attacked at, in case you can pick off any type of retreating units. Just go after the missile turrets. Like, I know that it seems sucky to maybe trade away your mutalisks, but you've got to make the Terran uncomfortable. So what? You lose a little bit of damage, lose 1 mutalisk? Who cares? Go put damage on. This is a little bit unfortunate. Is this mutalisk? Oh, this could suck. Slow down, slow-mo. Alrighty. And now you run some. Very smart. I like that a lot. Units-wise, economy. Zerg's a pretty good economy. Terran's had a better economy. Greater Spire and Ultralisk. Another command center. I like what the Terran's doing. The Terran got a bit stomped there. His widow mines were in the right spots. But he did a lot of damage. Living Dead's maxed. Holy crap. 11... What? 11 Ultralisks. Why not? Terran is going to go for a very slow march. Where are all the medevacs? Okay, I'm going to say right now that as a Terran player, your medevacs are kind of your lifeline. You want to be able to use a lot of stim, and you need the medevacs to deal with that. This is a long game. My beer is not going to last. Let's see where these widow mines go. I was about to say, yeah, you want to spread them out, but you generally want to keep them a bit hidden. So, yeah, make sure you don't run them right into vision there. Zerglings are out on patrol to take out any types of widow mines. Queens are gonna die almost instantly. Ooh. Ultras to the max. Get the metamax. Go up there, take that mother... Pardon my language. Take that guy on. Nice micro on the Widow Mines there. That was actually really cute. Only one shot gets off from them there. We can see that stim is doing so much damage here. He's going to run into a corner, which is nice, but he's going to lose all of this in a heartbeat. How many meters are left? Okay, Marines do not take on Ultralisks. Doesn't matter what you think, you need the Marauders out. You need other types of units. Ultralisks. Oh, is that... No, that's not his only detection. Lots of extra detection. Well, if all else fails, at least they triggered all the Widow Mines. Keep going. I would have probably kept chasing that thing down, pushed him all the way back. But, it's a good spot. Okay, now, you're a Zerg player. I'm going to pause. You're a Zerg player. You got 3,000 in the bank. You've got... He's at least making some more Overlords. You got all this extra money and gas. Make more than enough Overlords, and then saturate these with spine crawlers and spore crawlers, because what you don't want to lose to, that's why I love this, what you don't want to lose to or get really hurt by is a drop of like 8 Marines in the medevac. Take a couple more bases, just saturate it all up, take it all. Alright, you've got this big amount of money, go and own the map. I think that's why I love watching people like Scarlet play, and you can see all of his units still rallied down here. That's why I think I love watching Scarlet play, is that when she gets the slightest bit of a lead and feels the slightest bit ahead, she just takes the whole map. Just ruthlessly. The burrowed zerglings are also fantastic. Never get tired of burrowed zerglings. Terran players do not walk around with detection like Zerg players do or Protoss players do with observers. If you put burrowed lings, even in like random chokes, you will see exactly where the army is. And I think he should have these watchtowers. Yes, he would have lost a zergling there, but he would have known that this army and this command center were going this way. Sometimes it's nice to just go kill your opponent. I mean, it's a bit of a risk. When you're maxed out as a Zerg player, sometimes you can just crush everything. Which is why you need to have the whole map. If you own the whole map, Widow Mines. Pretty good hits. Just go crush him completely. Nice focus fire on the Widow Mines. I kind of like this move. We'll see if it works out in the long term. I would split up your units. Kill economy. Kill the economy. These guys will take care of themselves. Just let them fight. Go do guaranteed damage right now. Marines, once again, are terrible against Ultralisks. They have to stim in order to run away. And once they stim too much, they almost get one-shotted by all the Ultralisks. This would have been nice to take out as well. The Mutalisks would have taken that out with ease. And now we have a planetary fortress up here mining like nobody's business. So the Zerg player is a huge lead, almost maxed again. More Overlords, lots of Overseers. Queens transfusing. Yeah, I think that the Zerg player's been in advantage a long time. It's hard to know how fragile Terran players are, but they're so fragile if you can just hit them in the right points. But unless you kill all their economy, all their production, you won't get them to leave. It's not like Protoss that has, let's say, you know, an army, that if they lose the army, then they'll leave because they can't replace it. Terran can always build another army if they have economy and they have, you know, their production facilities. So crushing down the front and getting on the production facilities might at least cause a base raise. That would be a nice pickoff. Does he get them all? Not quite. He gets most of them. They said let them fight. Go and do the damage. Oh, a little bit of indecision here from LivingDead. Terran army is 3-3, so I mean it's these Marauders are at least now finally. Oh, don't let the mutants get out front. That sucked a bit. As soon as the Terran misses micro once, they just kind of die. Look at, there's still a huge bang for the Zerg player. Doesn't have enough larvae to actually spend it. Need more macro hatches. I mean, it might seem somewhat useless, but just get more of them out. And I would rather see more damage go into these bases. He doesn't have, I think, enough units to break down the front. That's done. Yeah, now turn your attention over to something you can kill. Widowmine hits. Overseers are in place. And the Terran player, they've got to move as a ball. You're going to be able to get tons of damage done here. It's a bit of a trade, and the Terran army will probably clean this up. But not before a lot of damage gets done. Save the Mutalisks. At least save the Mutalisks. Except for that Mutalisk. No turrets up here. Nothing. Zerg player doesn't have the watchtowers, doesn't know what's going on. A flock of Mutalisks, yeah, that's it. That's all there is to contend with this base. Would have shut it down instantly. So that's... You do need to get used to as a Zerg player, and to do the same thing as a Terran. Send a Marine around the map to different places. As a Zerg player, send Zerglings around to different places and know where you stand. Because you get these great opportunities. This is what's keeping the Terran player in the game right now. It's nice to see that the Marauders are out there with the Marines. Lots of medevacs. The Terran player might actually climb back into this. And this is where the Zerg player, even though they're maxed out, is kind of vulnerable. These queens aren't doing very good. They should either be spreading creep or be a part of the army, at least around the creep areas, to transfuse units. We have Ultralisks that could use some transfusing. Something like that, right? Space is now mined out. The Zerg player does not want to lose this. And I'm going to say that for the investment of the gas, I'd probably rather not see Banelings. I'd rather see Fungals. As you can see, that you're getting this issue where the Terran player just keeps sidestepping back. The only thing that really beats that is fungling this army to keep them in one spot. Oh, here come the Widow Mines. This Terran army is so beat up. Nice snipe on one of the hurt Overlords, Ultralisks. And another army's ready to go. So that's why you want Zerglings. Maybe take this base. Just make sure you know where you stand in this game. Terran player is just inching his way back into this. I like that he's finally spreading out some of his Widow Mines. Kind of. Good use of the Queens, getting those transfuses up. Now this should be fairly intimidating. All the Widow Mines get off, and I think they killed all the Banelings. So once again, this is why I think having... Oh no, Terran. I gotta pause for a second. Sometimes as a Terran player, when you have a giant blob of units, you just feel like, I can kill everything. Ultralisks have splash damage that essentially like 1 or 2 shot your Marines. So your army will die really fast if you don't micro. Leave a few units to attack and move the rest back. I think that moving into the Infestors would have been a better play at this point. Zerg player is still mining. The Terran player probably could have done with a few drops in this game too. Have the medevacs. I know it's nice to have everything in a big bunch, but if a drop even down here with some Marines, tons of damage, into the main, go for some of the tech, snipe the Greater Spire or something. You can do some pretty good work. Queen still with lots of energy. I think he's building creep tumors over where his hatchery needs to go. It's kind of funny. Income tab. Well, Zerg's still in the lead. That's because the Terran has no harvesters? No. Terran has only 28 harvesters. No way. Well, once again, this isn't a good example. When you're at this stage of the game, it's been half an hour. Move around the map, check for these things. One drop full of Marines, this is shut down. The Zerg player doesn't have hotkeys, so LivingDead would have had to move like almost his entire army to go down there and deal with that. This is a very natural place for the Terran to expand to. I'm surprised he hasn't. I do like that he keeps pushing in one direction where he's attacking. I mean, that makes sense. This attack could be devastating for LivingDead here. He does not have another hatchery. Stim up, get the workers. Yep, he's going to cut off the retreat path. This is going to be so devastating right now. Well, the Zerg player knows that the Terran army's down here at least. Not much of a lead right now in overall supply. This is going to be very hard to kill. It is a planetary, but there's these... Are they going to get in the way of the Ultralisks? See, all these Ultralisks are just butting into each other. Finally, yeah, he's going to move around it. Let's actually save that one Ultralisk. That's a nice little bit of micro. Now, if you had Fungals, this is one of those situations where when this army balls up, a Fungal could win this game for the Zerg player. Gonna cut off the retreat, and it'll actually do very good. This is not a great spot. Oh, well, there's nice. The Broodlords are nice. I still think, because of all the medevacs, it'd been more worthwhile to get the Fungals. Don't abandon your Broodlords. Loses one, loses two. So the Zerg player has a ton more supply, but this is just great positioning from the Terran player. Smartly, he stops before the Widow Mines. Nice desperation transfuses. I like those. I like how that one queen transfuses Buddy, but the Buddy wouldn't transfuse him back. Fungal right there. Boom. You win. The game's done. It's over. In that one instance. Broodlords are cool, but the mobility of this 3-3 bio, Broodlords aren't going to be as big of a deal. I'll just run away from them. I'll just go somewhere else. This is not a good move. Most of these will shoot at the same target, and will get killed by the splash damage of the Ultras. Transfuses! Keep them going. Nice transfuses. This is the fight that... There we go. He needed to take. I'm not going to say that was preemptive from the Terran player. I think that this base should have been taken a long time ago. Like, this entire bottom half of the base, of the map, the Zerg player had no idea about. Put another planetary down here, and expand on opposite sides. The Zerg player with the Ultralisks and the Broodlords is going to be moving as a big unit. So take advantage of your mobility as Terran bio. Get those drops going, get your expansions on opposite sides of the map. As the Zerg player, at this stage of the game, if you're going Ultralisks, you're going to need those Fungals to lock down that Terran army. If you don't do that, they can just, run away from you for the longest time. The Broodlords, though they were cool, I don't think they're worthwhile on this standpoint. They're great against me when I was playing mech because I sieged up and they destroyed me. But as against a bio player, these don't necessarily help you out a whole bunch. One kill. SeKo Starcraft, thank you very much to LivingDead and Future Like Ours for sending out this replay, and we will talk with everybody later.